Friends, the train of life is not off the tracks. There is an engineer at the throttle who is guiding the train exactly where he wants it to go. Whether you admit it or not, God is in control. Do you believe it? He has been there from the time you drew your very first breath. I don't know a more certain word in an uncertain world than these worlds that God is in control. The ultimate plan of God will prevail, though the details are not known to you. You don't know the details, do you? Do you know the details behind the scenes? Do you know what is happening behind the scenes? Friends, we don't know all the details. But be assured of this, God is in control. I want to point out a very few things, and there are many, in which God has complete control over. He is in control. First of all, God controls the course of individual human lives. We just heard this morning from Jeremiah. And Jeremiah said, before you were born, I knew you. That's amazing. You ever thought of that? Before you were even in existence, God knew that you'd exist. Ephesians chapter 1 and 5, it says, God predestined us, that means He chose us, to be adopted as His sons through Jesus Christ, in accordance with His pleasure and His will. So God controls the course of human lives. Secondly, the individual events of our lives are subject to God's will. They're subject to God's will. In James chapter 4, verses 13 and through 15, we read this. Now listen. You who say, today or tomorrow, we will go do this or to that city. Spend a year there and carry on business and make money. Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you want to say this. If it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this and that. Thirdly, God governs the events of human history for His purpose. Psalm 33, verse 10 and 11 says this. The Lord foils the plans of nations. He thwarts the purposes of the peoples. But the plans of the Lord stand firm forever. The purposes of His heart through all generations. Fourthly, God brought the events of Jesus' life to pass so that they would fulfill prophecy. God was in control. Peoples acted on their own free will and did not know they were fulfilling prophecy. Look at Matthew chapter 26, 52 to 56. Jesus said to Peter, do you think I cannot call on my Father, and He will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? And how then would the scripture be fulfilled that saying it must happen in this way? All the time, Jesus said to the crowd, every day I sat in the temple courts teaching, and you did not arrest me. But this has all taken place that the writings of the prophets might be fulfilled. Friends, God is in control. Paul wrote in Romans For from him, and through him, and to him are what? All things. All things. Because of that this morning, I want to remind us as children of God that there are 4 things at least I can absolutely be certain of. I am sure that no matter what the economy does, no matter what the politicians do, no matter what happens in Afghanistan, no matter what happens to the market, no matter what my health might be, no matter what, there are certain things I can be sure of. 100%. And what are they? God has the best plan. That's the very first. There's a great verse in Proverbs that says this, Proverbs 19:21. If you have your Bibles, I encourage you to look at these texts. I know I move along quite quickly, but mark them, look at them, write them down, and look at them later, because these are important words from the Lord. It says this, many are the plans of man's heart. You have lots of plans, don't you? But it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. It's the Lord's purpose that prevails. Proverbs 19:21. Now let me tell you something that I can guarantee you is true for the months ahead. Things will not go as planned. As you. I can assure you that many of you this morning are living witnesses that things do not always go as we plan. Is that true? How many can say that you are a living witness to the truth that things don't always go as you plan? Is that true? You see, that is why we always need to remember that even though God's vision never changes, our plans may change. Our plans are provisional. The reason for that is God often has a better idea. And he often changes our plans to his plans, because his plan is a better